Hello and welcome to my house. Today I'm going to try and solve a bit of a problem that I have at the farm, and that is lack of light in the buildings. So today's sort of an unboxing of this cool light set that I got on Amazon. This has been in my cart for a while. It's got two pendant lights, it's solar powered, and it has two remote controls. Now this was originally $69, $70, but I got a sale and it was $52. So I bought this set and I figured this would be a good test to put in the garage at the farm. I do occasionally have to go in there and it's really gross and it's really dark, and usually I only have a flashlight on me. But now I'm hoping that this will solve a bit of the problem. Now, as I said, this light set is solar powered, and this is good because I don't have electricity at the farm right now. The solar panel in this kit is pretty big. It's about a foot by 8 or 10 inches, and it has two integral cables which connect to the battery of the solar panel. The battery is not very large, so I'm kind of concerned about the brightness or the longevity of the power when fully charged. The solar panel looks to be pretty high quality, which is good, and the cables don't tug out and they're pretty tight in there. Now the lights are pretty cool. You've probably seen this design before. These things are advertised all over the place, but usually they have a screw-in bulb fixture, and you could screw these into a light bulb socket. These, however, have a little bracket on them that can screw up into a stud or into your ceiling, and it has 4 light leaves on it, and each leaf is adjustable up and down. The connection style is very simple. The cable of the light plugs into the cable of the solar panel, screws in. There's a washer in there, so it should be pretty moisture resistant. On the bottom of the light, there's a power switch and a motion detector. The reason why I chose this particular light set on Amazon is because this kit has 2 separate light pendants that run off of a single solar panel. I thought this would be good because my garage up there at the farm is a 2-stall garage, and I could place one of these in the middle of the garage in each bay. I figured this would give pretty good light dispersion around the garage. Like I said, the garage is very dark. So from an initial assessment, this kit looks to be halfway decent. The lights don't feel cheap. The solar panel doesn't feel flimsy. The cables are pretty rigid and robust. My initial concern, though, is how bright these are actually going to be. That battery is pretty small. Wow, and just like that, all my concerns are eliminated. This light is super bright. These things were blinding to look at when that button was pressed. I can't wait to see what they look like in the dark. Holy cow, there's no real way for me to explain to you how bright these lights are. They're equivalent, if not brighter, than the actual style of these lights that plug into a light bulb socket. They're blindingly bright. So the only thing left to do is now install these at the farm. Like I said, this garage is a disaster. This entire thing has to be stripped right down to the studs from the floor all the way up to the peak of the roof. It's just disgusting. But I do have to go in here occasionally, so I figured a good place to mount these would be in the dead center of the garage, measuring front to back, in each of the bays. And remember, this is a 2-stall garage. Installation was super easy. I just put a screw up into one of the studs on the bracket, and then I reconnected the side bracket to the side of the light. 2 screws, done. The second light was installed exactly the same. A screw up through the center of the bracket into the stud over the second bay of the garage, and then the little retaining screw on the side of the bracket was reinstalled so that it screwed into the side of the housing, and once again installation was done. Putting these 2 lights up in total took me about a minute and a half. It would have been quicker, except I had to move a bunch of crap so that I could move the ladder into position under each light. Mounting the bracket and the solar panel, on the other hand, was a tremendous pain. Not because it was difficult, again, it's only 2 screws, but because I was doing the entire thing one-handed and holding the camera with the other hand. So please don't look at any of this video and think, wow, this looks like a difficult procedure. I just made it far more difficult than it actually is, simply because I didn't have 2 hands to work on this. Installing the solar panel to the bracket is just 2 screws. There's a knob on each of the screws that screws into the side of the solar panel. So you just tilt it up, position it in the sun, and then you have to run your wires. Now, in my case, this was very simple because I have 2 windows that are broken out on the side of this garage. So again, one-handed, I untwisted all of these wires and I simply tossed them through the window and connected them up to the ceiling inside the garage with some nails that were already sticking out of the studs. Once I had the cables positioned properly so that they would go to the light and I could connect them up to some of the nails that were sticking out of these studs, I simply wound the excess wire around itself, plugged it into the light, and then once again looped the bundle of wire around one of those nails that was sticking out of the stud. Super simple. The actual installation of these wires, again, would have taken less than a minute. Unfortunately, I was fiddling around with the camera, I was up and down a ladder, I was trying to do things one-handed, so it did take me about 5 minutes to get these wires set up. But nothing difficult about this whatsoever. If you wanted to put this into a shed or your own garage or perhaps your attic or some other dark place, this is a great kit. The wires are long, they're about 20 feet, maybe 16 feet long. And in the end, the entire installation took only about 10 minutes. This is so far a great kit. I really like the fact that those lights can be turned and positioned up and down so that you get maximum light coverage in your space. That's exactly what I wanted. The brightness of these lights once again did not disappoint. Even in broad daylight, even in this large space of a garage, they're still super bright. The last thing that I had to do was take the remote control that was included with the kit and turn this to mode 2. And mode 2 simply means that when motion is detected, it'll come on full brightness. Now, one other thing that I wanted to do while I was here at the farm was put another hose clamp onto the choke assembly of the bulldozer. Remember, there's some carb issues and I haven't gotten around to cleaning it yet, but I do need to use the bulldozer. So I pulled the choke lever all the way out and then I tightened down a hose clamp so that it would stay fully out. So this should allow me to start that pony motor and then start the diesel engine without having to hold this out manually with my hand. Well, with a couple jobs done, it's time to leave for the rest of the day, but I am going to come back tonight and check and see how bright these lights actually are. While I was departing the farm, though, boy, I looked around once again, and it's just staggering to me how much this land has grown wild again just in the span of about a month. All of the stumps have full trees growing out of them. The entire field is covered with established grass and weeds. I have to come here in the next week and finish up everything I want to do with the bulldozer. Especially out here in front. I have a stump grouping, and it's grown to about 9 to 10 feet tall. So I can't wait to get in here and absolutely level all of this once again, for the last time, I hope. And just as a bit of follow-up, the blade weed whacker assembly that I purchased a couple weeks ago, it did work. It allowed me to clean the entire area of that road on the side of my property, but the last few minutes of using it, it became almost unmanageable because of vibration. The unit is destroyed. The nut has embedded itself into the side of the plastic. The assembly has kind of combusted inside itself. It's no longer level. It's no longer usable. The washer itself is now a deformed, thin piece of metal. The one thing I will say, though, the blades lasted very well. They did not consume themselves as fast as I thought. In the end, though, this is out of there. Can't use this again. It was $29 down the tube. I came back to the farm a little early this evening. I still needed a flashlight, but I wanted to really get a sense of what it was like before the lights, having to walk around this really dark, dingy space with only a flashlight, and now what it's like with the lights. I am just absolutely blown away by the brightness of these lights. The entire inside of this garage is lit up like daytime. These lights are phenomenal. For 50 or 60 bucks, this kit is well worth it. I am just absolutely astounded with the brightness of these lights and how it fully illuminates the entire inside of this workspace. You just can't compare this with a flashlight. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. In the next week, I'm going to be up here again, completely leveling this field and hopefully winterizing the property. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.